Hello, amazing English learners. Welcome back to Unlock B2 English, the podcast that helps you move from understanding to truly using English. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mark. Today, we're diving into something crucial for sounding natural, collocations.
That's right. Have you ever noticed that some words just go together in English, even if you can't explain why? Like we say heavy rain, not strong rain. Those are collocations, and mastering them will make your English sound so much more authentic and fluent.
Exactly. Understanding collocations is a game changer for fluency. Today, we'll explore what they are, why they're important, and give you plenty of examples of common collocations that native speakers use instinctively. It's about building those natural word partnerships that elevate your English.
Key vocabulary for today includes collocation, a pair or group of words that are habitually used together. They sound right to native speakers. For example, make a decision is a collocation. Instinctively, doing something without conscious thought, naturally. Sound natural, to speak or write in a way that sounds authentic and unforced to native speakers. Authentic, genuine, real, true to its own nature. Game changer, an event, idea, or procedure that affects a significant shift in the current way of doing or thinking about something. Nuance, a subtle difference in meaning, expression, or sound.
So get ready to make your English sound 100% natural. Before we continue, think about this. Can you think of any English word pairs that you know always go together? Maybe something you've noticed but couldn't explain. Keep that question in mind as we talk.
Mark, why do B2 learners often struggle with collocations? It feels like something that just comes naturally to native speakers, but for learners it can be really tricky. Is it just about memorization?
It's more than just memorization, Sarah. It's because they're not always logical. Learners might know the individual words, but they don't know the preferred pairings. For instance, you make a mistake. You don't do a mistake. Both make and do are common verbs, but only one forms a natural collocation with mistake. This is a key part of moving beyond basic grammar and vocabulary. It's about understanding the idiomatic nature of the language.
Absolutely. And that's where our scaffolding comes in again, right? We're going to break down these collocations, explain their typical uses, and give you the tools to understand and use them effectively. We'll help you bridge that gap from just knowing words to using them naturally, confidently, and correctly.
Precisely. We're not just throwing collocations at you. We'll explain the nuances. For example, why do we say strong coffee but powerful engine? Both strong and powerful suggest intensity or capability, but they collocate with different nouns. Understanding these nuances helps avoid common errors and makes your English sound much more sophisticated and precise. It's about developing an intuitive feel for the language.
Let's dive into some common categories of collocations that will immediately make your English sound more natural. We'll start with verb plus noun collocations, which are incredibly common in everyday conversation.
Great idea. For example, instead of saying do a decision, native speakers always say make a decision. Another one is take a break, not have a break. Or pay attention, not give attention. Notice how make, take, and pay are used here. You also catch a cold, not get a cold, and commit a crime rather than do a crime. If you're discussing a problem, you might face a challenge or solve a problem. These are fixed phrases that you'll hear all the time.
Exactly. And it's not just about memorizing them in isolation. It's about recognizing these patterns and seeing them in context. How about adjective plus noun collocations, Mark? These are often where learners get stuck trying to use very all the time, when a stronger adjective-noun pairing would be more natural.
Oh, definitely. Instead of very tired, we often say exhausted. Or for very good, we might use outstanding or excellent. Think about heavy traffic, not much traffic, or dense traffic. Similarly, we say shallow water for water that isn't deep, or a sharp pain when something hurts intensely. You'll also frequently hear blind faith, or sound advice, or crucial difference. These specific adjective-noun pairings just sound correct and convey a more precise meaning.
And then there are adverb plus adjective collocations. These really add depth and intensity to your descriptions. For instance, instead of completely happy, you might hear deliriously happy, or bitterly cold for very cold. These really paint a vivid picture and are far more impactful than just adding very.
That's a great point, Sarah. Another one is fully aware instead of very aware, or highly successful for very successful. You'll also encounter strictly confidential in business contexts or widely available for products. When something is incredibly important, we might say it's vitally important. These collocations make your descriptions much more precise and sophisticated. They show a command of the language that goes beyond basic vocabulary.
It's about building a richer vocabulary toolkit and developing a feel for the natural rhythm of English. And these collocations often appear in everyday situations across various topics. For example, when you're talking about work, you might meet a deadline or launch a product, not arrive at a deadline or throw a product. If you're solving problems, you might come up with a solution or find a compromise.
Or in social settings, you strike up a conversation with someone or pay a compliment. You might do a favor for someone or lose your temper if you get angry. When you're making plans, you might make arrangements or set a date. These are so common, and once you start noticing them, you'll hear them everywhere. They are the building blocks of truly natural and fluent conversation.
Now, for your weekly challenge, this is where the learning really consolidates. Take 3 of the collocations we discussed today, perhaps make a decision, heavy traffic, and fully aware, or choose any others that resonated with you. Try to use each of them in a new sentence of your own. Write them down, or even better, say them aloud several times. This active application is crucial for knowledge consolidation and for making these phrases part of your active vocabulary.
That's it for this episode of Unlock B2 English. We hope this deep dive into collocations helps you sound more natural, confident, and articulate in your English. Keep practicing them in your speaking and writing.
Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next episode, where we'll be tackling reported speech, mastering direct and indirect styles. It's another essential step towards B2 fluency and a common area where learners can improve.
See you next time, and keep unlocking that B2 potential.